Does anybody else have this thing when they're sick where like you go through the same cycle every time? Like you start out with like a scratchy throat and sometimes that gets worse, sometimes it doesn't. And then it turns into a cough and then you get the runny nose. And the runny nose can last from a wide variety of time. It could be a day, it could be a month, it could be 3 months. Well, I'm in that phase right now where my nose is stuffed. It's been like 3 days, so I'm really not complaining that much. But like I wake up and I have like the sinus headaches. It sucks. And it just seems like it's never freaking getting better. So here we are. If I sound a little weird, that's what I'm saying. But huge news. Huge news. Oblivion. My favorite game of all time. One of them. It's like top 3. Stardew Valley, Oblivion, Fallout 3. Probably top 3. Oblivion is getting remade like soon. Like within months is going to be coming out. That's what the report is. Now, Mr. Matty Plays, he was the person that I used to watch for Fallout news. I remember, I think it was when Fallout 4 was coming out, he had a podcast called Ham Radio Podcast. So if you don't believe me that I watched him, there's the proof. And this video he's got says, this changes everything. Oblivion remake soon. And if he goes over the same rumors that I've heard, these are wild. So if he misses them somehow, I'll keep you guys filled in, but let's go.
And we have what I think is like stunning news. Like if I had a negative crash out during the WB Games video, I don't know what you call a positive crash out, but like I am legitimately
a reverse crash out,
about
obviously.
This news as reality sets in. So we have an Oblivion remake that's been floating around for a while. We've been covering it since it first leaked in 2023. That was exciting enough. The couple of years leading into it had been long and arduous, but ladies and gentlemen, when we actually...
By the way, this is like total side note, but like with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, if you played that game, you know how like serious of a game is and like the way the leveling works where you have to do the things in order to level something up. That was Oblivion. And in my eyes, Oblivion is like a less serious Kingdom Come Deliverance with magic. And that's like it. That's as good as a fantasy game is going to get.
See this game officially for the first time. The wait is going to be insanely short, apparently.
Yeah, this is the crazy part.
So help me God, if this remake is good, Todd, so help me God, brother, if this is good, you know how, like, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, dude.
Is Matty Canadian? Like, is he like Edmonton area? Because like I didn't think he was Canadian, but maybe he
An
is.
Oblivion remake in June, like I was thrilled about that. Like we're gonna see it, and in a couple months we're gonna get it. Now the talks have dwindled down to maybe a month, dude.
So here's what I heard first. I heard reveal on 4/20, April 20th, and launch June. That's what I heard. But if you heard something different, I'm all ears.
That is so exciting. Okay. My heart is like through the roof right now. Okay, let's take a chill pill. Because if it sucks, then I'm going to crash out the other way, right? So, here we are. The pendulum could swing either way. Bethesda, Virtuos, it's in your hands now. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, welcome. If you're new here, you're into what's going on with Bethesda, Oblivion Remake, and the busy couple of years they seem to have ahead of them. Consider subscribing. Let's start off with where this news started. A lot of people thought it came from McStasis. He tweeted out here that the Oblivion Remake is coming soon.
That's not the one that I saw.
This is not his own news. This came from Nate the Hate. Where I really want to sink into things is the VGC article titled Bethesda's Oblivion Unreal Engine 5 Remake could be releasing soon.
Unreal Engine 5 remake. So keep that in mind.
And it says here, according to noted insider Nate the Hate, the Oblivion remake is set for a reveal in the coming weeks.
Wild.
Acclaimed VGC has corroborated with our own sources. Nate claims the game will likely release before June, while sources have told VGC it could arrive as soon as next
Okay, so that's where
month.
I got the June number from.
There's got to be a plan here. I don't know if Todd's just having a giggle over there at Bethesda, if the man is like, oh, I'm going to keep shortening that window. Like he has said on record in an interview that he would keep the announcement window and the release window to like a week if he could. He'd go as short as he can.
Nice.
He wants that to be like that moment of you see it, you're excited, and then you get your hands on it. The idea.
Okay, so the one thing that Call of Duty has ever done like this is Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. I need to make a video on this somehow, like on the main channel. The Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign came out like, I think it's 20 days. I think it's 21 days. I think it was 21 days after Warzone dropped. Like just shadow dropped, like, oh yeah, we had this in our back pocket. And then yeah, we didn't get any multiplayer, but still. Like that's what I think the best way to do remasters
Man,
is.
may have actually forced the hand enough for an Oblivion remake that with like mass marketing and everything would do so well. The fact that this company actually might just be like, see you next month, max, is crazy. But what we have here is Nate the Hate, who has become a very trusted insider. We talked a lot about his reporting heading into Developer Direct, where he got the South of Midnight release date right. He also got Doom the Dark Ages right. He also was right about the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal and all that stuff. So this guy has become like A or S tier. So to me, he is on that like Jez Corden level at this point where I'm like, I'm going to take what he says with a level of seriousness. So when he's saying it, that's one thing. Then
Yeah, that's kind of like,
comes in.
we have
like,
many people in the Call of Duty community that are like, okay, you sound like you're full of crap. Also, oh, the weapons in Oblivion.
Well, actually, he's right, but
that's the arena right there.
Sooner than you even think. The original tweet, though, from Nate the Hate was when he was asked about Oblivion Remake news this month. He said either this month or next month release is likely to be sooner than the original June target, but still working to get details on an updated release
so maybe
date.
April 20th.
And this just brings out the whole
May
question
launch?
of, do they shadow drop it? I mean,
they could.
when you look at Oblivion and its birthday, if you will, its original release date was March 20th, 2006.
There's no way.
And when you see here in the VGC article,
but the announcement could be March 20th. But I did see April 20th.
This game could be released within the next month or so. That means that you have to reveal it soon. Now, there's a couple of spots. Obviously, the Oblivion release date, I think, would be the best. You have
for the reveal, at
Nintendo
least.
Switch 2 Direct, where
Nah.
you could also reveal it. But good God Almighty, man, I don't know what to say. And it looks like a shadow drop is legitimately possible because Nate the Hate then posts a quick update on the Elder Scrolls 4
there was more
announcement and release timing. As plans stand, both the release and reveal are targeting next month, April.
Okay, there you go. There's your answer.
The reveal and release will be minimal. A shadow drop is possible.
There you go. There's the answer.
What? See, this thing is like, okay, now we're in April. So if we're thinking April, are we talking like
Adoring
the
fan.
Switch 2 Direct? Like, is that the idea there? That they're
I
going
don't
to get on
think
Nintendo
so.
stage? They're gonna
I don't think so.
It's a bunch of Xbox stuff heading to Nintendo platforms. Do they announce the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remake then and say it's available right now and it'll be available on Switch 2 at launch? Like,
nah.
Is that the idea? Because I feel like that's a hype moment, like if you were thinking Xbox Developer Direct, but if you're talking like the Nintendo Switch 2, I feel like it has to synchronize
because it's gonna have to be a Xbox announcement where they announce day one Game Pass.
Nintendo hardware. Are they gonna squeeze the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remake onto Switch 1? Is that possible? I don't know. That's really tough to imagine an Unreal Engine 5 game in an open world setting running on Switch. But am I thinking too narrowly? Is this the place that we would actually see an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion announcement?
I don't think so.
The Switch 2 Direct? I mean, that was my original prediction. I don't know, but a shadow drop being
He predicted that? If he predicted that right, that's impressive.
And a major wrench in my schedule. I already wanted to play South of Midnight and Expedition 33. Now you're throwing this in here? Can we?
There's a lot of games in that month, but South of Midnight, Expedition 33, and then this?
Just like spread it out a little bit, please. I think
and they're all RPGs, all big games.
The real question is, why? Like, why are you doing this? You know, Bethesda is such a creature of habit. I'm like, why do you just do this because it's fun?
Yeah.
Do you do this because you're going to do something with Elder Scrolls 6?
Probably not.
June, you might like re-reveal it, as I've personally predicted, to kind of set the tone for what to expect with ES6. And then maybe next year in 2026, you get like a gameplay reveal and the game's coming out in 2027. Like, is that the plan? Like, this is where my head's at. I'm like, I don't think you just shadow drop an Oblivion remake if that's where they're going to go with it. I don't think you just shadow drop it for no reason. Like, I feel like there has to be some sort of plan attached to it, because you have to look ahead, right? You think of how what's next is my baby, my beloved Fallout 3 remake. That was on the FTC documents too. And since everything's holding up to be true in that leaked document list, you're like, okay, Oblivion Remake Remaster is there. Then Fallout 3 is next. Are you going to shadow drop Fallout 3? Are you going to do that? Yo.
It would be years. There'd be a big gap, I think, between Elder Scrolls, like at least a year, at least.
I just like, I can't, because like with Fallout, it's like you have the TV show. They now established
that's a good
Fallout
point.
Day
When is that season coming out?
stream every year where announcements can be held. So I'm like, you got places to announce it and build up to it, and Fallout makes a ton of money. So does Elder Scrolls. So again, I'm just like trying to get the idea behind the rationale here, just from a business angle, because there's got to be a reason for it. But maybe like this is the reason. I mean, you look at the reaction. I haven't even seen the damn game, and I'm bouncing in my chair like a 5-year-old. Again, if the game isn't good, then I'm gonna look like a real fool. But I'm always willing to take that chance because I like to be authentic. And right now, my emotions are like,
It's just,
hey, dude, this is
okay,
exciting.
so what it comes down to is we know the gameplay of Elder Scrolls 4 is good. We know Oblivion has good gameplay. It has a good story. We know this. It's just, can you remake it with great graphics? And maybe, like, I don't see them doing many gameplay changes at all. And then have it not be buggy. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it.
So
Easy,
I'm
right?
not going to downplay it.
Well,
now,
maybe not,
here
but
is the thing. We got to talk about a couple of things, right? Because like reality's about to bitch slap us, right? We're talking about the Oblivion remake release potentially within the next month. Okay, crazy. So let's start to iron out some expectations. Number one, if it's an Unreal Engine 5, like what are we expecting? Modern lighting, but are we expecting the dungeons to be redone? Is that going to be part of this remake? And by that, I don't mean layout, but like visually, are the assets going to be varied enough where I know where I am in like my millionth set of alien ruins or another cave? Will I know where I'm at? Is it going to be like updated combat? How much feedback will be there? We did get as part of a leak from a LinkedIn profile that there will be improvements to the gameplay system. We talked about them a little bit.
I'd be surprised if there are,
right here. They say that 6 of the reworked gameplay systems are stamina, sneaking, blocking, archery, hit reaction, and HUD. They say improvements to the game's blocking system have been reportedly inspired by the Souls-like games, while sneak icons are now highlighted in the new system. The stamina system was modified to be less frustrating for the player, making the knockdown that occurs when stamina is depleted more difficult to activate through changes in calculation methods. The HUD was changed to make it easier to understand and more aesthetically appealing to young players.
The HUD was,
I've already expressed my worries about.
Yeah, super
Hit reactions
simple
are also
back in
added
the
to
day.
improve the response to damage inflicted on the player and NPCs, and archery was improved to make it more playable and modern in both first and third person points of view. Virtuos is handling the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 as well. So if that is sort of the visual level we're expecting here, we are in for a treat. I think
that would be unbelievable.
Question mark for a lot of people is modability. And this is a very fair question because we're now moving into an Unreal Engine 5 project where that's a lot more difficult to pull off. So my 2 cents on this would be money. It's that simple. Like, I think number one, mods are money to Bethesda now. There was a time it wasn't. They just would give them the tools to kind of.
I know where he's going with this, and I don't disagree. If you look at, I think the best example from recently is Hogwarts. They're using the community like Roblox does to create longevity for their game. And they're trying to find a way, like almost a marketplace, which they haven't done yet, just to be clear. But eventually, I think some of those mods are going to be paid for. Basically, getting free DLC for their game, like free made DLC that people have to pay for. That's the worry. And there was a time when all mods were free, but is that going to last forever?
Going to keep their games relevant for longer than any other single player game on the market. Now, a lot of companies have caught up with that, but Bethesda has taken the step forward of not only hiring these modders more frequently than other companies, but also monetizing them. Creation Club.
There you go.
I don't see a world where Oblivion Remake goes on without a Creation Club. So Bethesda sees this as a potential money option. And I say that because I talked about this
Also, I could be wrong about this, but I think there's more developers that work in the Unreal Engine than any other engine.
Fallout. And undoubtedly when they do 3 and New Vegas, they're updating these games also because they become these updated platforms that you can sink money into. That is the unfortunate reality of this all for many of you, is that, including myself, we're all excited about this. But when I look at like Starfield's Creation Club and how when I interviewed Todd last June, we're 9 months away from that. And still, we haven't really seen the meaningful updates to pricing on the Creation Club storefront when it came to that game. So I'm not excited for that element of it, but am I going to kid myself and act like Bethesda's just going to release an Oblivion Remake and be like, here, $70 and also day one Game Pass, have fun? Like, no. Creation Club's a huge part of this company's future plans. It's going to be in Elder Scrolls 6. It's going to be in every game that they remake. They're bringing, I think, all these games forward so that they can add Creation Club in, because then you have this, I put in quotes, definitive version. We'll see if it actually ends up being the definitive version, or Sky Oblivion will take the crown. But you have this, quote, definitive version that people can then spend money on, and their games are viewed as platforms that people play for years and years and years. And so Bethesda gets to make a lot of their money like many developers do through their back catalog, not only the original titles that people will happily buy, but also the ones that are remade with the new bells and whistles that you can
Gotta be good though.
buy stuff from. But Creation Club is fueled by a modding community at the end of the day, but I just don't see a world where Bethesda lets that element of the business slide with one of their games. It's so important just in general, not only for community, but it's also important for their money-making opportunities. So I could be wrong.
So here's where I stand on this, and I don't know where anyone else stands on this. Having the mods there for Oblivion or Fallout 3, if they do this, or anything else, I think is actually important for the studios, right? Because we are at a time and place where live service is king and microtransactions are king, more so than the actual $70 sale of the game. People are going to make more money longevity-wise, and if they find a way to outsource it to the community, good, right? That's at least how they look at it. If I was them, what I would do is, depending on the mod, they would be like $1. Like literally $1. Oh, you want your horses to look like unicorns. It's a horrible example. You want your horses to look like Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, $1. Like we take 25 cents. The creator of the mod takes 75 cents. It's $1. Okay, well, maybe I get 10 mods. You want a new set of 5 missions that this person made with audio? $5. They take $4, we take $1. Something along those lines. And it's like, okay, then you have your longevity. It's relatively cheap. You're paying for DLC. It's curated because they're not going to allow everything through, which some people are not going to like. But it can't be $10 to change the skins in the game. $10 to add Doom style weapons into the game or whatever. If it's too expensive, that's when it gets egregious. And let's be honest, that's what's going to happen.
I could be dead wrong on this, but I feel like there has to be some sort of solution there. Whatever it may be, I don't know, but I feel like there has to be some sort of solution
Finish him.
for modding. Is it possible that they just say this is a one-off and we're not doing it? I guess so, but I just feel like that's them intentionally leaving money on the table, and I don't see how they greenlight this project if they can't figure that out. So that is the big hurdle with Unreal Engine 5 that comes to mind for me. It seems like now the floodgates on information for Oblivion Remake have truly opened, and maybe that's part of the reason why we're getting a hasty reveal to release. And also, the game may not have a ton of new bells and whistles beyond the visuals for the remake, which may be also why Bethesda wants to shorten
That's
that
what I'm
window,
thinking.
because then the glaring flaws, if you will, start to become more apparent of like, oh, all the dungeons are the same, and oh, the combat really isn't that different. I don't know. Again, just spitballing, trying to bring myself down from the stratosphere.
Because we're at a time and place where remakes like the Silent Hill 2 remake or Resident Evil remake, they've added things, they've changed things. It doesn't feel quite the same as the original, but if anything, it's better. Is it going to be that? I doubt it. I think it's going to be Oblivion with better graphics.
You're like 8% right now. Just a little bit of rationale amidst all of this hype. But look, man, if we're seeing here from VGC, again, I'm reading it right now. Acclaim VGC has corroborated with our own sources. Nate claims the game will release before June, while sources have told VGC it could arrive as soon as next month. So I feel like the Oblivion anniversary date on the 20th is the day. That's a week from today. And I guess with the floodgates open, I could see a world.
So, I mean, if you really want to go conspiracy theory, Warzone getting delayed, right? Like, would they do it because that's getting announced? No, they're not similar enough games. So like
real strong leaks, like
leaks,
gameplay,
leaks
or
maybe,
see a
or a
screenshot
reveal
slipping through, or trailer gets uploaded early, or something like that. Like I could see a world where this becomes a slippery slope for Bethesda because the leaks have only mounted up more and more. They haven't stopped. People are sliding things through LinkedIn by accident. So I see a world where Bethesda probably wants to get this revealed as soon as possible. Same with Virtuos. And, frankly, like I want to see it for the first time with that trailer because that is the one thing with this remake. And I've said it multiple times, so I apologize if I'm a broken record, but like I can't imagine a janky Bethesda game looking pretty in Unreal Engine. I can't visualize that. The close-up in dialogue where like you literally are just
zoomed in on
someone's head. I can't even imagine that, in my head. I'm like, what does that look like when it's all prettied up and shiny? And there is a world where look, Virtuos did do the Spacer's Choice edition of the Outer Worlds, which is now in great condition, but when it first launched, like the way the eyes looked, the lighting, the character models, like it just felt like needless work done to justify re-releasing the game again. And it was the worst version of the game until they finally fixed it like a year later. So I just don't want that to happen here with Oblivion Remake, especially because, look, I love Elder Scrolls, but I love Fallout like a teensy tiny bit more. And to me, whatever's happened with Oblivion Remake is also happening with Fallout 3. And that is the one, like, that is my baby. I will protect that at all costs. Like, you cannot mess it up. So if Oblivion Remake isn't in a good spot, then what does that mean for Fallout 3? So the pressure is high for me, y'all. Like, I'm gonna be staring at my ceiling thinking about this thing until I finally see the trailer. And it seems like when we see the trailer, the wait may not be long.
I bet you it's within a week.
A shadow drop. It might be as soon as a week from then. I don't know. But oh man, whew, this is crazy. This is crazy, man. This is a game changer, right? Like, I already had the thing that annoys me.
He's having a reverse crash out.
I think this might be the GTA 6 effect a little bit. Like, it seems like Oblivion Remake was already planned for front half of this year. But then I look at something like what happened with Death Stranding 2, where they announced it, they're like, we're coming out in 3 months. I'm like, what is going on? What? Oh, everyone's trying to avoid that late summer holiday period.
Yeah.
Because GTA 6 is looming, and when that comes out, everyone's clearing out. Maybe Call of Duty's the only one who could stand toe to toe. But like, GTA 6 will be the biggest game ever. So
Maddie, I wish Call of Duty could stand toe to toe. Not a chance.
I think that's why we're getting a lot of these surprises, but it's messing up my gaming schedule. I'm already reviewing stuff, and then I'm like planning out, oh, I want to finish Death Stranding 1 before 2 comes out. In what world?
Yeah, there's no, like, I'm in that boat right now. There's no world where you can go back and play old games right now because just so much is coming out this year.
Will I be able to do that if Oblivion Remake's coming out in the next month? God, life is great. Life is great. This is a great problem to have, man. So, okay. I think I got it off my chest. We'll see. I, again, expect more leaks to happen, so we'll see. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this Oblivion Remake news in the comments down below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, so fire away. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Stay sexy.
It's interesting, right? I truly do believe that within a month, we will hear something, whether it be a leak or an announcement. And then my guess is, with what we're hearing, probably not a shadow drop, probably not go on stage. Oh, hey, we've been working on this. It's out now. It's out next week is more what I'm leaning on. And I think the reasoning is exactly what he said. It's not going to be a complete overhaul of the game. There's not going to be new gameplay mechanics or new dungeons or anything like that. And I hope I'm wrong, but that's what I see. And in the long run, are good graphics enough to carry this game for another $70? Probably, because it's an old enough game, but is there bugs? And that's, I think, why it's going to be the quick turnaround from trailer to reveal to launch. And we'll see. I'm excited for it. It's, like I said, one of my favorite games of all time, up with Fallout 3, just like Maddie there. And we'll see. We'll see. Apparently it'll be soon.